Today, we're talking about President Trump's inauguration and day one orders, Ohio State winning the college football national championship, former President Biden's last-minute pardons, and other top news for Wednesday, January 22nd. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with the pour-over today. Here's the quote of the day. The Christian does not think God will love us because we are good, but that God will make us good because he loves us. C.S. Lewis. Let's get started with some espresso shots. At noon Eastern Standard Time on Monday, Donald Trump became America's 47th president inside the Capitol Rotunda. After his swearing in by Chief Justice Roberts, President Trump gave a 30-minute inaugural address that promised to usher in a golden age of America. He said the U.S. has suffered greatly under the Biden administration and promised a proud, prosperous, and free future. Among the president's promises were pledges to plant a flag on Mars and to retake the Panama Canal. Within minutes of the ceremony, President Trump was down to business. Here's a roundup of his day one executive orders. Declared a national emergency at the southern border, classified drug cartels as global terrorists, and ordered the end of birthright citizenship. Re-left the Paris Climate Accord, revoked several Biden-era climate executive orders, and declared a national emergency to expedite American energy development, granted full pardons to nearly all, roughly 1,500, January 6 defendants, renamed the Gulf of Mexico, now Gulf of America, and Mount Denali, Mount McKinley once again, ended remote work for federal employees and froze federal civilian hiring, ended DEI programs across the federal government, declared that the federal government would recognize only two biological sexes, delayed the ban on TikTok for 75 days. Trump kept his pen in his pockets on tariffs, quieting investors' fears about international trade changes and giving the stock market a boost. Number 47 said he'd consider 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports on February 1st. Many of these executive orders are expected to face legal challenges, with at least 18 states suing to block his birthright citizenship order. President Trump is also facing criticism from some ethicists over the release of $sign Trump and $sign Melania meme coins, newly created cryptocurrencies that quickly boosted the first family's net worth by billions. Followers of Christ are not identified by their political affiliation, but by their love for God and others, including people you believe have unloving stances. Remember compassion for your neighbors regardless of whether they're celebrating, mourning, or indifferent to Washington's busy week. John 13:34 and 35 says, I give you a new command, love one another. Just as I have loved you, you are also to love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. The Ohio State Buckeyes claimed the first ever 12-team college football playoff national championship, defeating the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 34-23 Monday night. OSU built a commanding 31-7 lead before Notre Dame rallied in the second half, cutting the deficit to 8 with 4 minutes left. A late Buckeye field goal sealed the dub and their 9th title. Both teams faced bumps in the road to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Ohio State fell to rival Michigan Thanksgiving weekend, while the Fighting Irish stumbled in Week 3 against Northern Illinois. With as many as 16 players projected to be drafted this year, the Buckeyes will soon be shining on Sundays. Whether you watched the national championship, binged your latest Netflix pick, or curled up with a good book Monday night, we can agree that God's call on our lives today is to live in a manner that reflects his undeserved love displayed on the cross. Pray that you will do that today. Ephesians 4:1 says, Therefore I, the prisoner in the Lord, urge you to walk worthy of the calling you have received.
Hey, it's Emily from the Pour-Over. The holidays are over, but my wallet? She's still recovering from endless holiday festivities, gifts, and class parties. If you're looking for a new habit to kick off the new year, Upside is it. This app puts a little cash back in your pocket when you're already filling up your gas tank or grabbing a bite to eat. I even get cash back on our Friday pizza night tradition. It's super easy. Download the app, check the map for gas or food offers nearby, claim one, pay like normal, and boom, cash back. Download the free Upside app and use promo code TPO to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code TPO.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. Former President Biden issued several controversial preemptive pardons minutes before leaving the Oval Office. Biden said the broad immunity granted to 3 of his siblings and 2 in-laws, retired General Mark Milley, Dr. Fauci, and members of Congress who investigated the January 6 events, will protect against baseless and politically motivated investigations. Trump called the move disgraceful. At least 66 people were killed and 51 injured in a fire at a Turkish ski resort. The blaze broke out around 3:30 a.m. in the hotel's 4th-floor restaurant and took 12 hours to be extinguished. Guests reported hearing no alarms. Many fled through windows. 4, including the hotel owner, have been arrested as part of an open investigation. Marco Rubio was confirmed by the Senate as America's 72nd Secretary of State, the first of President Trump's cabinet nominees to get the upper chamber seal of approval. Then Senator Rubio was able to vote for himself in the confirmation that passed with unanimous support, 99-0. Now he'll turn to some sticky situations abroad, including a fragile ceasefire in Gaza. Greater LA continues to battle dangerous fire conditions as the Palisades and Eaton fires, which have claimed at least 27 lives and destroyed or damaged more than 21,000 structures, remain 59% and 87% contained, respectively. Meanwhile, at least 9 people have been arrested for allegedly starting small fires in the wake of the more prominent infernos. Brr, it's cold out there. Nearly 2/3 of the contiguous U.S. is bundled up as another Arctic blast plummets temps from the Great Plains to the East Coast. Meanwhile, Winter Storm Enzo is bringing rare and unexpected snow, sleet, and freezing rain along the northern Gulf of America coast, prompting 4 states to declare states of emergency. And that's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening. If you're listening on the Apple Podcast app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We appreciate your support and hope you have a great day. We'll see you on Friday. You made it to the end of our podcast, so you probably appreciate discussions about current events from a Christian perspective. Check out The Bulletin, a headline-driven roundtable podcast from Christianity Today. Hosts Russell Moore, Mike Cosper, and Clarissa Mole share conversations with fascinating guests, encouraging you to consider the world around you through the intersection of faith, culture, and spiritual formation. Join the conversation by going to morect.com/bulletin board.